so excited to be here with all of you today. Welcome all of the Boss Babes for 2024. I am National Sales Director Holli Lowe, and I'm even more thrilled to see you all embrace this year's Boss Babes theme of Take a Risk. I remember the big risk. We all take risks every single day in our life, but taking a risk and seeing it through is really more like believing in what you can't see. And even when there's no evidence that points that it will ever work out in any way, shape, or form, right? So I want y'all to think about the word risk, R-I-S-K, right? Risk stands for rise up, girl. Impact will be had. See it through and kicked out to the curb the minute it creeps into your journey. I remember the moment of walking into my first career conference. I had been in Mary Kay for a year and had never, ever held an appointment, never done a party, didn't order inventory or do a debut. I was a real winner, right? But a year after signing up, I called my director and told her I really wanted to see what this Mary Kay thing was about. And she told me, come to career conference. How many of you have ever attended career conference? I just finished competing in the Miss South Carolina pageant and had bought a pink suit for my state interview. I thought, Mary Kay, pink, it would be perfect. In this season of my life, I was a junior in college and was so on the perfection train. Can any of you relate? Trying to create the perfect middle-class American life with my 2.2 children, the starter home that would be my forever home, a teaching career that I would do forever. Y'all remember those teachers in your life? I'd have more month than money, but we would have enough to pay our bills, and that would be enough, right? The white picket fence. Anyone had that small town, middle class American dream? The white picket fence. You remember your normal you were striving to achieve before Mary Kay entered the scene? So when I walked in to that career conference in my beautiful pink suit, I knew no one. They all had on black, white, red jackets, of course, and slate gray director suits. And I was wearing the magenta pink suit, right? I was the highlighter in the Sharpie box, and I was mortified. I could have totally found a red blazer at the Belk's department store if she had just told me to go buy a red blazer. When I sat at that conference, my middle-class American dreams were shattered beyond all recognition. I saw women marching on stage for earning cars and trips. I heard the travel, the income of the NSDs, and I remember seeing those successful top 10 directors in sales and sharing, and I think my mouth was hanging open. Where has this been my whole life? And how did I almost miss it? I wanted that suit. I wanted that income, that sisterhood. I wanted that life. I wanted to be happy. I wanted to be celebrated. I wanted applause. I wanted to love on women. I wanted that mic in my hand. My brain felt like it was exploding. But really, I just wanted two things. When I boiled it all down, it all. As I sat there in that arena, the borders of my normal had just been expanded. I never imagined taking my family on trips around the world. I had never imagined earning diamond rings and millions and making millions for my family. And as my 20-year-old mind was trying to rapidly process what was happening, I felt so much excitement, so much enthusiasm, but I had so many questions. Anyone? What would my parents and boyfriend think if I really did this instead of being a school teacher? But I also say that I was too dumb to doubt, because if it worked for them, I think I could figure it out. So what was I really risking? My childhood dream of becoming a school teacher. I was risking all the money I had used in scholarships to get a teaching degree. I was risking the approval of all of the people around me because they were going to think I was crazy. I was risking looking stupid. I mean, I don't have one customer, one profile card. I never held one party, and now I'm going to earn a car and be a director by seminar, and it's March 20th? That's kind of ridiculous. I was risking making the wrong decision that would alter my entire future. So, in taking this risk, you guys, I had to trust three things. First of all, I had to trust Mary Kay. I had to trust God, and I had to trust myself. I trusted Mary Kay. That was easy. This business was proven and it worked. I parked by a pink Cadillac when I pulled up to Charlotte. They all seemed happy and said it was great. And honestly, I never considered anything other than what I saw at face value. I believed them. Next, I had to trust God that if I did the work, He would bless the chase. And if He did it for them, He could do it for me too. But I didn't really process that until later. I understood what I was really thinking was I really had to trust not just that God could, but that He would do it for me. And last, I had to trust me. I had to trust myself to make the calls, do the faces, and do the shares. So I rolled up my sleeves and I focused on 30 faces and I shared with all of them. I left Career Conference in April. I left Career Conference that March, and in April, my team did 8,000 wholesale. I recruited 6 girls, and my commission check was over $800. I was sold. My life was changed, and I knew that Mary Kay was for me. In May, I added another 4 girls, and we finished with 10, and I submitted DIQ on June 1st. I didn't finish my seminar, but I did earn my first free car on June 30th. I debuted as a new sales director on October 1st. Here's what I learned. I learned that I didn't need to know it all to get started. I learned that you assume people think you're crazy, but really most of them think you're crazy amazing. They think you're so brave and super courageous for breaking out of the mold. I learned to love the process of being a beauty consultant. I loved to party. I learned that 30 faces changes everything. I learned in those days that action increases your confidence. Confidence raises your belief, and high belief makes you brave enough to believe anything is possible. I learned how to balance 19 to 21 hours a semester, working part-time on campus, working part-time at a restaurant, babysitting all summer, and also running a Mary Kay business. I learned that I wasn't an overthinker. I always just did what my mentors told me to do. I really didn't have to figure anything out. They had it all figured out. And if they were successful and I did what they did, it would work for me too. I learned how to work afraid. Warm chatter was the most terrifying thing I had ever done up to this 20 years of my life. I understood what real courage was. I learned how to dream, and I mean really dream, and then do something about it. I learned that the expectation of others did not have to be my reality. I learned that you can't outrun your roots. I learned that I had to do the work. No one else could do it for me. Excuse me. No one else could do it for me. No one would hand me what I had not worked for. And I had everything I needed to tackle the goal. What happened because I took the risk? Because I took the risk to attend Career Conference when I knew no one. I had never met my director. My middle-class American dreams were smashed. And God gifted me with the biggest high-def dreams for the first time in my life. I took the risk of going for car and director. In doing that, it was the single best decision to set my life into a totally new trajectory. God would use this company to pull the warrior princess out of me that was buried deep inside. I took the risk. I hustled hard. And crossing the line took more than I thought it would. But the victory was sweeter than I could have ever imagined. Your God-given dream life destiny is on the other side of all the risks you're willing to take. The same God who made the sun, the moon, and the stars decided the world needed one of you today. He chose you. He selected you. He called you. Now, why don't you go prove him right?